I'm gonna get that going.
I think it would be good to record if people feel comfortable with it. In case folks miss this, we can share it with the other system coordinators to make they're able to get up to speed on what TIO has to offer.
All right.
If you don't want your image recorded, please turn off your camera.
Trying to model a trauma-informed meeting since we got the pros here today. All right. Anna, do you want to get us started? I missed Friday's planning meeting, so I don't know if there was an introduction planned or.
We are excited and honored to have Stefan Roche and did I say your last name right? Roche.
You got it, Roche.
Roche. And Mandy Davis from Trauma Informed Oregon here to extend the technical assistance contract that they have entered into with OHA for the purpose of providing systems of care, systems and the slide system, some trauma-informed care, trauma-informed meeting structure, technical assistance, and they're going to run through what they are here to provide for you so you can kind of think about how you might engage with and use these services. We would love to see all of our system partners engaging in this technical assistance opportunity. It is free to you, so it will not cost your system of care anything. And be very well combined with some of the other technical assistance opportunities that we have available to you for systems assessment as well as youth and family engagement. So now I will hand it over to Stefani and Mandy, and the agenda is both attached to your calendar invitation and pasted into the calendar. Whichever was easier for you to access, you should be able to find it there.
Excellent. Thank you. We're going to jump in and I'm just going to review that agenda real quick and then turn it over to Stefani. Just one level setting as I'm working from home versus my office. So I'm managing new screens as my kids wreak havoc on my house. So what we're going to be doing today is Stefani and I are going to just kind of go between ourselves. I just want to really quickly set the intention is that we're going to take a minute. Stefani's going to take a minute to kind of bring us into space and then talk a little bit about Trauma Informed Oregon for any of you who that may be new and kind of what we do. And then I will talk a little bit about how we approach this type of work. So just thinking about literally how we do this work from a trauma informed place. So how do we model the model? And then we'll talk a little bit about get you to engage a little bit about what feels helpful. How do you feel about this type of work? And then I'll actually show you the scope of work and some ideas for you to be thinking about in phase 1 and phase 2 work. And then we'll wrap up with some ideas and some opportunities for you to express hopes, worries, concerns, ideas, suggestions. And then we will follow up. One ways we model the model of feedback is we'll follow up with a Qualtrics survey. So afterwards, I'll send you a little survey. That way, if this isn't the space you feel most comfortable sharing, things you have option now, where simply we'll ask you very similar questions that we'll be talking about today. So just know you'll have a couple different ways to give us feedback as we go through. And Christy, I will be ignoring, of course, everyone who needs to be admitted, assuming you're pushing those buttons as needed. Watching chat, I'll drop in resources, Stefani talks. And then Stefani, you can tell me if you want the slides or not the slides as we go through the different spaces. Do you want me to shut it down for a minute or?
No, yeah, let's just shut it down for just a second. And why don't we just take a moment to together, maybe get to know each other just a little bit. So I'm wondering, just as a soft open, how everybody's doing in the room today. What, 20 people, give or take, in our meeting today. And I'm thinking what we'll do is a simple scale from 1 to 5. 1 to 5. 5 being you are the most fabulous you have ever been in your life. You are just exploding with joy today, that you can't even stand yourself. And 1 would be like you're having a really, really difficult, I'm having some trouble today. I'm wondering from 1 to 5 about how have you been today? How are you doing? How are you stepping into this space together? And I'm going to take a look at the chat and just kind of get an idea of how we are today, and just drop in a simple number. Oh, and I see there's some issues with the audio. My apologies. I see some 2s, some 3s. All right, 2.5, 3. So, okay, we've got a 5. That's awesome. Excellent. But you know, however you are entering space today with us, we want you to feel accepted exactly as you are walking into the space, or you're stepping into this space, or showing up in this space today, whether you're at the 2 I see, or whether you're at the 5. I hope that this time feels like something that's supportive for you, and that we can begin this conversation of what technical assistance will look like for you. I'm Stefani Roche with Trauma Informed Oregon. I am an assistant professor of practice. I'm working at Portland State University, which is, houses Trauma Informed Oregon with the Regional Research Institute. And you can share the slides if you choose. Thank you so much. So what do we do at Trauma Informed Oregon? I did see a couple of familiar faces, which was nice. But some of you may not know about us, and we don't want to just rush right through and pretend like everyone knows, because maybe you don't, and that's all right. So I'm going to just read our mission. To prevent and ameliorate the impact of adverse experiences on children, adults, and families. That's what our mission is. We want to see people heal, and to be able to walk into whatever spaces, organizations we may work with, an educational system, we may work with a healthcare system, behavioral health, different entities. We want to be able to support those organizations in becoming trauma informed, decreasing likelihood for re-traumatization for people who work there, but also people who may interact within those organizations. We want to promote and sustain trauma-informed policies and practices across physical, mental, and behavioral health systems, and to disseminate these promising strategies, not just of being trauma-informed, but also actually, again, really supporting the idea that people can heal and respond well when they are interacting with these systems, health, education, others, and be able to be their full self when they're interacting and not experience re-traumatization. And to support that wellness and resilience. And our approach, it's TIC, meaning trauma-informed care, or trauma-informed approach. DEI as A and R as well. So we don't just focus simply on trauma-informed care. Actually, let me rephrase that. There's a saying, and you'll have to correct me if I say it wrong, Mandy, or anybody who knows it, that it's if it's not anti-racist, if it's not anti-biased, then it's not trauma-informed. So to have that trauma-informed lens, that trauma-informed approach, it's going to also involve diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, justice. So we want to support all of those things. They kind of intersect, don't they? Our approach is we want to uplift and support the voices of people who have lived experience, right? So it's, forgive me, but it's not just some us eggheads at times, that can be called that, not just the professional, but we want everyone to be able to benefit from that trauma-informed approach. So also center the voices of people with lived experience. It's system change focused, right? So it's not just the individuals, but the entire system. You heard me say a little bit earlier about policies and procedures of it. Well, we want to see those policies and procedures that our organizations are working under, that we're building those policies and procedures with that same trauma-informed lens, and that anti